All right, we got some more sales numbers coming in. These are the sales for November 2018, and it's more of the same. Revenues +1 to the previous year. However, you have to take into account that that year was down from a previous year, so it's really not that good. However, there are a couple of positive things among bad things to highlight here. As much as these stupid comic pros want to say that this Comic-Con list means nothing, I have to disagree because titles that stick around are always on here. Titles that get canceled are always at the bottom. I think they are very reflective of where a title sits. So, as far as digital sales, we can't really speculate, but I don't think digital sales, as far as American comics, make that much of a difference. I think for the mangas and stuff, and I did a video on that, there is a difference maker because they're affordable, right? You have a $2 manga Shonen Jump app coming out a month, $2 a month for access to thousands upon thousands of back chapters and day release with Japan. And then you have the $4 single issue digital book. I mean, why would I buy a $4 digital book when I can just get the same price for the floppy version? It makes no sense whatsoever. And they're just a mess in general. And these idiots that run around like Eric and abuse women, and then you have everyone in the American comic industry trying to cover it up. These things don't help. So to say that things aren't in trouble would be a fool's game. And there's a really good example of how Marvel scams things out here. So you see Uncanny X-Men up here at 176, right? Now this is a big launch. Uncanny X-Men's been gone for a while. They've been hyping it up. This is going to be a weekly thing. Now, the good thing about this being a weekly thing is we get 3 weeks worth of how this sold. And you see here at number 1, you still pull out 176,000. I don't know why comic shop owners kick themselves in the face and order all of these number ones. I see them just laying all over the place every time I go into a comic shop. Smart ones order conservatively and never have this problem, but you know that it's not going to keep things up, and it's X-Men has been so dead. I really don't think people are running into stores to buy X-Men anymore. And here's the interesting thing, right? And you'll see CB Spolsky probably say something. X-Men, Uncanny X-Men did such an amazing job. It sold 176,000 units. And then you'll go down here, Uncanny X-Men number 2 and 3, right? We see Uncanny X-Men number 3 right here fell to 58,000 units. Uncanny X-Men number 2 dropped to 62. But look at this drop between 2 and 3. I would guarantee you that it's going to drop down here to an X-Men Red level of 31,000. Probably by the 7th book. I think it'll be down there. That's a big drop, right? But here's the difference, though. I think these fans are there for the books when you take a look at Amazing Spider-Man, which is a very good book right now. And here's why I say that. Look at issue 8 right here. Or no, this is issue 9. 85,000. Now, last month, this book sold 84,000, right? We go up to issue 10, which was a nothing issue. It was that's the issue where Black Cat, I believe, and Peter, that's the end of the arc where they got all the weapons back. And that jumped up to 103,000. That was a nothing. There was no milestone there. There was nothing big that happened in that issue. It was just a normal issue. There's no milestone. There was no, crazy, amazing cover by some long-forgotten artist that came out of retirement. It was just a normal, regular issue. But it was a good issue. And I think good reviews from people and word of mouth is picking that title up. People are like, okay, I'll go read it. Because this is a Dan Slott event number. Because for the longest time, Amazing Spider-Man was sitting around 50, 60,000. Holding there. These are Dan Slott's numbers. He's holding 67,000 on Fantastic Four right now. Which is down from a huge number, right? But you can have Nick Spencer come in, write this book, and it's good it shows you the power of a flagship character and when it's a good book on how it can sell. And it really shows you the power of like Spider-Man's like the buying power. These are really good numbers. These are like, successful Marvel Days numbers. And I think that that's telling, right? And you come out here like Venom. Venom's a really solid book. Now this is actually down a little bit by a couple thousand from last month, but for 8 issues now, Venom has been selling good. Same with Spider-Man. For 10 issues, we're on 11 now, but for 10 issues, this book has been going up in sales, which is pretty unheard of, because even Amazing Spider-Man number 9 is up 1,000 units over last month's number 8. So I think that that's very telling. I think this shows that there is an audience that wants to buy these books. However, you give them garbage like Return of Wolverine number 3, which had some of the lowest tier, low effort, garbage art I've ever seen, and like literally looked like an NPC meme for Professor X on the first page. It was terrible. It was terrible. And, you put such a low effort into that, you think people are going to come back for issue 4? No, they're not. Some of these titles are holding where they've always been, like Batman. That's no surprise, right? That never leaves the top 10. Sometimes it's even in the top 2. So, I'm not too crazy about the Tom King run. It has its moments, but I cannot deny that it sells, and he's appealing to people because he's holding that top spot consistently his entire run. So I don't think that there's nothing you can really take away from that. Avengers, surprisingly, I don't care for it, but people are digging it. It's been holding strong up there in the top 10 for a while now. Justice League has been pretty high up, so there's no big crazy things here. You go down and you start to see some of the more consistent usual suspects here. The biggest, most notable thing is that Superman and Action Comics have actually dipped now. Action Comics is actually selling 60,000 units last month. It's now dropped down to 49. Superman has gotten worse at 54. So some are starting to drop. I think Bendis's power is breaking. The Action Comics book actually isn't too bad, I gotta say. Superman is a garbage poop show, so I have no interest in Superman. I'll keep reading his Action Comics until it goes down the hill as well. But you see, Dan Slott's got some about to get some rude awakening. I heard his Iron Man took on Gamergate, so that will be funny how that title drops as well. Thor's dropping. Mr. Miracle has dropped. There's Tony Stark. Iron Man, look at that. That's some low numbers for you, Danny Slot Boy. 35,000. And it's funny because that book doesn't even star Tony Stark. Tony Stark, Iron Man, he's barely in the book. You put some old dude in there with Alzheimer's or whatever the hell he is leading the book. Like, no one wants to read this like group Tony Stark Industries book. I want to see Tony Stark like slaying women and getting like his buzz on. Like this soy version they've had running around for a while. No one's interested in that. Ghost Spider, look at this. Now this was actually Ghost Spider number 1 was actually in the top 4 last month. Look at that drop. So it dropped from 100,000 to this. Stop falling for this, comic shop owners. Like this is a big example of how crap the industry is. Like you look at that, and I'm going to pull up, look at this. So Ghost Spider number 2, 35,000. Go here, 88,000. Now that is a really good example of what's hurting the comic book industry. And then like I was showing you before, look at those amazing Spider-Man numbers, 83, 82. That's pretty impressive. When you compare it, look at they actually that's a huge improvement on sales. So like I said, it shows you the audience is there, right? But when you have books no one's interested in, like Ironheart here, and I thought that book was actually decent, but I'm not interested in the character. But you aren't doing anything to bring in anybody to be interested in the character. And you neglect all the other stuff that people actually want and almost push the quality down. Now, Marvel is worse than this than DC. DC's actually trying. But you need a good Marvel. It's just a fact. I'm going to shoot down here. Now we go down to the bottom feeders. West Coast Avenger is just on life support at the moment. 22,000. Sherry already dropped down to 21,000 after a number 1. That is bad. That's bad. And it just keeps coming down. Mr. and Mrs. X dropping. That's actually a decent book. Sad to see that happen. Spider-Man and Deadpool's coming down to an end. Batman Beyond's ending. And that's really the big surprises. I could not find Unstoppable Wasp. I looked for it. The numbers must be that bad that I can't find it. But look at old Iceman here. Actually lost another 1,000 units. We are already at the point to where the book got canceled before. And this is a good example of the comic industry just, trying to own those CGers, right? Look at that drop. They brought this book back with the same creative team. And it was already a canceled book. And look where it's at now. It's really sad. Here's one of those Vertigo books. Hex Wives number 2, already down to 10,000 because it's a pile of garbage. I believe Border Town, yep, with the old Kitty Diddlin Eric Escova, who the industry desperately wanted to protect. None of the big outlets are covering the scandal that he's facing. Look at those crappy numbers. And then it just goes into the usual stuff. So, here's Faith Dreamside. Now, this is the really fat woman comic. They have that big fat woman as a superhero. Look how badly that sells. 3,000. That shows you nobody gives a damn about that book. People are literally just buying to look cool or something. Like, you go to some hipster's house and he's got that big fat chick comic laying on the coffee table. Like, what's that? Dude, that's Faith. It's amazing. Tell me about it. She fights people because they didn't read it. Because no one wants to read that garbage. So, anyway, that's it. Just a fun little sales video. We're seeing drops all the time. I don't know how much longer this industry can survive like this. We got comic shops closing all the time, and I don't see that that's going to change anytime soon. So anyway, make love to the notification bell. Throw a like up. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think about these sales. Tell me what you think about the dying industry. Just leave me a comment, even if it's just, wanting to talk some junk. I don't care. Throw a comment down, share the video, subscribe, check out the Patreon, check out thestream.me, links in the description, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.